What's up, YouTube? Happy to be back for another hangout. I'm really pumped today. I've got a new friend with me, Isiah, from a website and podcast you got to check out called Starts With A Vision. Startswithavision.com is a site. He reached out to me. We connected on social, and he wanted to do an interview with me. I said, yeah, let's do it. And how about we simulcast it on my live channel as well. So, Isiah, welcome aboard, man.
Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time out of the busy schedule to make this happen, and everybody listening and watching, I'm appreciated as well.
I love it. Now, this is going to be your show, but quickly, just for the people watching from my channel, what is it that Starts With A Vision is all about?
It's all about freedom, entrepreneurship, and continuing to spread that message that you don't have to go work a regular job to make a living and live a life that you want to live. I was in the military. I wasn't happy. I got out, moved to Atlanta, got in real estate. That was cool, but you know, it wasn't about just money. And then I started getting online and really building something online. And I just really love pouring into people and helping them get to where they want to be.
I love it. And the podcast has been around for over a year. And you, how many, it's once a week? How often are you doing these things?
We're doing it 4 days a week. So Monday through Thursday, we're podcasting.
Nice. I like it, dude. The hustle is
real. We can't do one a week. That's not enough for me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, you run the show like it's your show, dude. However you begin, and I'm ready to go.
Okay, I'm just gonna start because I do an intro before, so I'm just gonna say what's going on, everybody. You already know it's Mr. Starts With A Vision, and we have Evan Carmichael, the legend, on the podcast right now. How you doing today, Evan?
I'm great, man. I love your energy. That's the way to start. I love it. Let's do it.
It's always the way to start. And everybody listen, they know I'll be hyped up every single episode because when we are born, we have another opportunity to change somebody's lives and to be better. So I'm always hyped up, and I'm always just thankful.
Okay, you're always hyped up, but like this is extra hyped up, dude, right? Like this is the legendary interview that's gonna redefine the podcast, man. Here we go.
This is the one right here, man. So really quick, to the 3 people in the world who don't know about you or what you do, let everybody know who you are really quick.
Damn, those 3 people, man, you're killing me.
It's only 3.
I love I'm Evan Carmichael. I love entrepreneurs. My one word is believe. I believe that entrepreneurs will solve all the major problems of the world. It's not the corporations, it's not the government, it's us. We are the game changers. And so I have a popular YouTube channel where we profile a lot of famous entrepreneurs. We want to make them successful. I've got a book out, a website, and if you are an entrepreneur and wanting to take your business up to the next level, get some motivation, get some strategies, then might be a good channel to check out.
Absolutely, and I can vouch for that 100% because I used to watch all those top 10s like all the time, and I still do because you're always coming out with somebody that I haven't heard of that's, you know, very wealthy, or it's crazy. Sometimes I'll see an interview of this person, and then out of nowhere I'll see that you did their top 10.
Boom.
And I'm like, this is crazy. But the law of attraction, right? When you focus on something, what happens is you kind of start to see that stuff all around, right?
What's your favorite top 10, dude?
Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, damn, nice. Yeah. Nipsey. Yeah, that was a fun one to do.
I love Nipsey Hussle because I listen to him almost every day, and I love kind of like how he views entrepreneurship.
Okay, cool, man. Nice. You know what? I don't think anybody said that one before, so I respect that. I love it.
When you did his, I was so happy. I was so hyped up, you know, because he's dope to me.
Yeah, he's got a good loyal community. So we do our top 10s based off of requests. So like the more people ask for some person, that's who we do. And so Nipsey had this good like hardcore loyal following of people. And yeah, it was a fun one to put together. It's good to hear, man. So
what's the first off, how did you even you choose the niche, right? Or the topic of, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, but I'm not going to just talk about entrepreneurship. I'm really going to do something very unique, which is the top 10s. How did you even get to the point where you said, I want to do it like this?
So it started off as me wanting to further myself. You know, I have great friends and great people around me, but everybody says what a great job I'm doing. I wanted somebody to kick my ass, and I wanted to learn from people who've done a lot more than me. I think the environment you create for yourself is super important. And so I wanted to surround myself with people who've done a lot more, and I don't have direct access to Nipsey or to Steve Jobs or some of these people. So I thought, you know what, if I can spend some time just listening to their words, and if it hits me enough times, maybe that's going to help, you know, change my perspective. One of the first ones we did was actually on Kanye. And I did it because a friend of mine posted this article on his website about doing the wrong thing. and he used Kanye as like the poster child and went back to the Taylor Swift comments. Like, are we still talking about the Taylor Swift incident?
Right.
And it got me so pissed that there was so much disrespect for Kanye that this guy also has a lot of genius in him. And sure, he may put his foot in his mouth a lot of times, but the dude's won more awards than anybody at his age. He's gone from, you know, just making beats to being a rapper to being a fashion entrepreneur. And so I made a top 10 on him as a tribute to him to say, okay, yeah, sure, he's done a lot of stupid things too, but like there's a lot you can learn from this guy.
Right.
And so we made that video out there. And that was one of them. Like, you know what, if I keep doing these, like I'll learn a lot myself from them. And it's a gift to entrepreneurs. So instead of having to watch, you know, 30 hours of footage about Elon Musk and a lot of the questions you don't care about, and take out the best 20 minutes and say, here's the best 20 minutes Elon Musk has ever talked about entrepreneurship in public, gifted to you, enjoy, right? So I made it for myself, selfishly, for me to learn, and I'm so glad that people are appreciative and are learning this alongside me.
Right. And I think every entrepreneur, like the things that they start, it always comes from a place of like maybe their lowest point, or they're kind of doing it for themselves to stay inspired, and it turns into something so much bigger.
100%. I think for you to have success as an entrepreneur, you have to combine two things. One is what you love doing. You'll see that anybody at the top of their game, they have an insane passion for what they're doing. Entrepreneurs, athletes, musicians, inventors, anybody at the top of their game, they love the process. They love the work. They love getting up and doing the job. But you also have to create something that people want, right? If you're just doing something that you love, then you have a hobby. If it's not helping anybody else, if you can combine that with something that people love doing, then you're in business. And so, you know, a lot of the videos that I make are requests from other people, from the fans, from the audience. And if I can find a way to make it work, that, you know, I can find some points that I relate to, then that's what we make. And it ends up creating some good content. But I agree. I think most of the great businesses of the world are created by people who are scratching their own itch. You've got a problem nobody else has solved. I didn't want to make the top 10s, dude. I didn't want to do that's a lot of work for me. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to consume it. I wish somebody else made it. I just want to subscribe to a channel and get quality delivered to my inbox every day. But nobody else did it. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to complain about this. I'm going to just go out and solve the problem.
Right. To whom much is given, much is also expected, right?
Yeah, I love it, dude.
Big time. So how, first off, how long have you been YouTubing?
I don't know, man. It's one of those questions. I barely pay attention to the past. I'm so like now and future focused. I think I got my account like 8, 9, 10 years ago, something like that. Just to get the name. You know how you get your Snapchat name, you get your Twitter handle, just so nobody else steals it. I know it's producing some content, but seriously going hard at it, probably 2 years.
Wow. 2 years.
We've got 4,000 videos up on the channel, and most of those would have come in the past 2 to 3 years.
Got you. And I like that part right there, because a lot of times people think that this person has just been doing it for a couple months or a couple weeks and they're huge, right? I want 800,000 subscribers, but it's like, yo, you didn't go through the time where this person had 10 subscribers and 3 views. Right? Yeah,
man. Yeah, man. I made a video not that long ago. There's this video that I got my first comment on that is over 3 years old. And I got my first comment on it. I remember when I first started, like any comment at all would be insane, right? Most videos I put up got no comments.
Right.
Now I'm spoiled, right? I get like hundreds of comments every day. But at the beginning, I got no comments. And for people who are just starting, they put out a video, they expect to get 100 comments on it. Then they get depressed that they didn't get it. You know, that video took me 3 years to get a single comment on it. And so I think too often we're comparing ourselves to other people's middle. Right? Like you see what somebody else is doing and then you want to be like that person and then you're not getting the same results. But it's unfair. Like look at how they started. Go back and watch my first video. I sucked. I sucked on camera. I want to take that video down. But it's a good inspiration to kind of show the journey of how far I've come along. And if you do anything, like you're doing a podcast, you're doing 4 a week, you're going to grow much faster than the guy who's doing one every 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
And you listen back to your first podcast, you know, I know Isaiah's already starting at a high level, but you're way better than you were on episode 1.
100%, 100%. And it's so important to because people love progress. And if you stop, you will never get to a point where you can see your progress. You will never get to a point where other people around you and watching you can see your progress. So that's why you have to just keep going. And as you go, you're going to learn those small things that you need to tweak. And that's going to be the biggest difference.
Yeah. And it's also why you got to do the thing that you love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you will never get good at it. You will never put in the work, the hours, the heart, the hustle, if you don't love doing it. If you don't like interviewing people, like this isn't going to work.
Right.
Right. You got to love your guests. You got to love the questions. You got to love the process of doing it. You know, even if 5 people watch the first episode, like you got to, I love that. I got to go do it again. Right. Because at the start of anything, any business, it doesn't make sense. It's not logical. It's not practical. You're not getting the results. You're not making money. And partly because, you know, you suck, you know, you're still working on getting better. And it's just the work to put in to get the skills. I've done 4,000 videos, right? Like you better get half decent at something if you've done it 4,000 times.
Right. Right. So you're giving yourself a fighting chance to even be successful.
Yeah, but it's because I love it. Like I love talking to entrepreneurs. I love doing the research on the videos. This is what I love doing. And so while you may, you know, somebody may look at my schedule and say, that's nuts. Like, how do you do all that? How do you make 3 videos a day? It's nothing, man. Like this is joy for me. I love creating this stuff. And that's what you need to find. Jerry Seinfeld calls it the torture that you can endure. Like if I jump into your schedule, say, Isiah, dude, that's nuts. Like that's torture to me. I don't know how you do that stuff. And you're like, this is, I love this stuff.
Yes.
And people jump into my schedule. That's crazy, dude. That's torture. I could never do that. Great. Don't do that. Go do the thing that you can do and you can hustle at that other people would find torturous.
Exactly. I love that because we all have our own journey and our own rites of passage, no matter what it is you're doing. You just have to find what makes it worth it for you. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned. So before YouTube, what did you do? I think that's a big question that people have. Because it seems like you've been YouTubing forever, right? Like that's what most people know you as. But I, did some research on you, but I want everybody else to know, what did you do?
Sure. Well, I'll go quick and then you can dive deeper anywhere you want to go. My first business was when I was 19. I had a biotech software company, turned down the jobs that I thought I wanted to do. It paid me $800K to do this business that I sucked at. I was making $300 a month, felt like a total failure, the lowest point of my life. Told my partner I quit, went through all these crazy times, eventually turned it around, built it, sold it when I was 22, ended up doing some speaking, helping entrepreneurs. I was this kind of young entrepreneur success story, so got invited to do a whole bunch of gigs like that. That's where I really discovered my love for helping entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. I became a venture capitalist, was helping raise $500,000 to $15 million for companies who wanted to grow. And I didn't know anything about raising capital because I never needed to do it, and I just wanted to learn. So I got into that space to learn. Launched a website at the time to share stories of famous entrepreneurs, and it's still up. There's still lots of great stories on there. And then transitioned into YouTube because I'm a visual learner, and I like seeing through video much more than reading something or hearing something. And so I started the YouTube channel, one, to show the famous entrepreneur stories, and also to answer questions, because people were writing to me, say, hey, Evan, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I would write 30, 40-minute long emails back. And it's always amazing to know that people want to hear your advice. It's super flattering at the beginning. You feel like, who am I to answer somebody's question? Right. And when I'm getting, 1 or 2 a week, it's easy to manage. But when you're getting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 a day, now it's like my whole day is answering email. So I thought, why don't I just make it a video? I can talk to instead of writing it out. It'll help that one person, and it can help everybody else who may have that same question. Right. And that's how it started. I never started the YouTube channel saying, I'm going to have a killer YouTube channel. I'm going to go for 1 million subs, and here's exactly what I'm going to do. Right? Like the plan is always changing. I'm super grateful for where I'm at, but it wasn't how I initially envisioned when I was getting started. When you started, were you at the mindset like, hey, I know that this is going to be hard. I know this is going to be a process. Or what was your vision when you first started your company at 19? And what is it compared to like now? Like, what's the mindset difference? The biggest thing, from then to now? So the thing that was the same is I didn't want to live with regret. The reason why I took that business, I never thought I was going to be an entrepreneur. It wasn't, my parents were entrepreneurs. It was not on my radar. It wasn't my ambition or my career to want to be an entrepreneur. I had that hardest decision in my life to take the big paying jobs, 80 to 100K starting salary, and what I thought I always wanted to do versus being an entrepreneur and struggling. I just didn't want to live with regret. I felt like, you know what? I can get another job in a year It may not be the same job, may not pay as well, but it's kind of close. But I didn't know if I'd ever get this company again. This my own business, like this opportunity with these two people. I didn't know if it'd ever come back. So you know what? I'm going to take it a year. I'm going to give it a shot. I was inspired by Michael Dell, who wanted to start Dell Computers, and his parents were like, no, you have to stay in med school and be a doctor. And he said, you know what? Give me 1 summer. Give me 1 summer to try this thing. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to school. He said, okay, fine, take the summer and do it. And he created Dell Computers, became a billionaire. And said, you know what, I'm going to take a year. Some of my friends were like traveling for a year. I'm going to take a year off and do this. If it doesn't work, at least I know. I could deal with failure. I could deal with it sucking, but I don't want to live the rest of my life wondering, what if I had taken that shot? What if I tried a little bit harder? And so I think that's still something I carry today. If I'm ever worried about, am I going to miss out? Am I going to regret this? Even this past week, I just came back from a conference in California for YouTubers, and I never go to conferences, but I felt like, you know what, I may regret not going, so I'm going to go just to know. And then if it's a waste of time, I won't go back next year. I could deal with the waste of time, waste of money, but not with not knowing. I think the thing that has changed from 19-year-old Evan to, 37-year-old Evan, had to do some math. My birthday in 2 days.
Oh, okay. Well, happy early birthday.
Thanks, man. 37. So like the difference over that 20 years is just thinking bigger, believing more, recognizing that I can have a much bigger impact. And I believe that if you have the ability to have an impact, and you also have the responsibility to do so. 19-year-old everyone's just trying to figure out how to build this company, how to learn this new skill, how to make some money. 37-year-old Evan wants to change the world. And so that's one of the major differences.
Right. So what's the mindset that you have to have with thinking big? Because from what I've learned, just, in my life, in my journey, that a lot of people really have a problem thinking big. I'll ask people, where do you want to travel? They don't know where they want to travel. And I'm like, yo, there's 100 and, something countries out there, and you don't know one place that you want to go. So what would you say to somebody that could inspire them or push them to just think bigger or help them out with their mental?
I don't know that I'm going to say anything in this one episode that will make that shift. I think the environment is what matters. I think you are what you consistently do, and you are where you are because of the people you hang out with, because of your routine, because of the environment that you're in. It's true when they say you are the result of your 5 best friends. You're going to earn the same amount of income roughly. You're going to be in the same spot of life roughly. And so if you want to change your lot in life, it's not going to come by complaining and blaming the government and blaming, the president and, blaming the euro or whatever else you're going to blame. It's not going to change my environment. Like if that person hung around you every day, you can bet their mindset's going to shift. Right. That person's going to see a whole new world.
Which is why it's so important with what you were saying you did when making the top 10s. So you were basically surrounding yourself around these virtual mentors long enough to the point where it got your mind to a certain point to where you knew like there was nothing on this planet that was ever going to be able to stop me after I got my mind right.
Yeah, you start hanging around more successful people, even if it's virtually, right? Just by listening to your podcast and hearing the guests you bring on, or by watching one of my YouTube videos, it starts to shift. Yeah, here's a quick example. I work with Sage. They're an accounting software company. I have a 3-year deal with them where I have the CEO come on to my YouTube channel once a month, and we talk entrepreneurship. And we're both answering questions. We're kind of equals on the show. Here's this guy who runs a multi-billion-dollar company, has 15,000 employees, and I was driving one day with my dad in the car, and he's like, how do you see yourself as his equal? Like, how do you get off answering questions the same way he does? Like, this guy has a lot more money, a lot more experience, a lot more track record. Like, how do you see yourself as his equal? And not from a judging way, not from like, well, you suck, how could you be his equal? A genuine curiosity. Right. And I'm like, I mean, I have a lot of respect for this guy, the CEO, but he's nobody compared to who I'm hanging with, right? Like, I'm hanging with Nipsey, and I'm hanging with Steve Jobs, and I'm hanging with Kanye, like every day. This is what I wake up and I do. Right. And so I feel like these other people, I deserve to play in that field. Like you can't hang around Kanye videos or Nipsey videos and not come away feeling more self-confident and feeling like you want to go out and attack the world yourself. And so if somebody's feeling like, I can't think big, I can't do this, I can't travel, I can't build my company, you just gotta watch what are you consuming? Like, what videos are you watching? What books are you reading? What TV shows are you watching? Who are you hanging out with? And start to change that in a more positive way.
Right. I think that's the biggest takeaway for everybody listening right here today, right now, because for the simple fact that when firefighters hang out with firefighters, right? Police officers usually typically hang out with police officers. Entrepreneurs, they hang out with who? Entrepreneurs. So literally, the conversations you have every day is going to mold the future, the trajectory of your life. It's going to mold that. So these conversations right here, when I interview people, I get so inspired. I take things from you, from this person, from that person, and it continues to make the podcast better. It makes me better as an entrepreneur, as a person, you know, as a leader. And I think that is just like, it's infectious.
Yeah.
Like your energy through the camera, I promise you, it is so infectious, because every single episode or every single video, there's not a fall off. If you were having a bad day, we wouldn't be able to know.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And again, that's where it comes from, just loving what you do. Like you can forget a bad day. You can put that behind you, because this is what brings me up. You know, I'll forget to eat and go to the bathroom and drink, because like I love doing this. I could do this all day long. Right. And so for people listening, right, like if Isiah's show, if you're pumped and motivated right now and thinking like you can go and do that big bold thing that you have, then start your day with Isiah's show every day. The dude does 4 days a week. Right. So you got an archive to go back to, and every day, that's how you start your day. So you're hanging with Isiah and whoever his guest is every single day. I guarantee you, your perspective will start to shift, and you'll start doing bigger things. Absolutely.
And it's, you know, I do get messages and emails and stuff, and people saying that their mindset has shifted, and that's what I'm so grateful for, you know, over the year. And I know that we have so much more to go. So that's definitely a key right there. So really quick, your book, Your One Word, I actually ordered on Amazon about a week ago, so I'm going to be diving in that bad boy next week, I want to say. But Your One Word, I know yours is believe. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So why is belief just so important, really quickly?
I think belief is important to everybody, but especially for me. I think you are what you believe you are. You can do what you believe you can do. You know, if you believe that you're 50 years old and you're finished and you can't go out and start a business, then that's it. You're done. But if you believe that like 50 is nothing, I can go out and crush that. And you look at Colonel Sanders, who started KFC in his 70s, you know, like started 60s and like really grew it in his 70s. Like that guy doesn't have that belief of saying I'm 50, you know, I'm done for, right? We all carry these limiting person beliefs. And when you can break through and say, you know what, I can go out and do that. And so recognizing what that limiting belief is and replacing it with something more positive is what really helps. I encourage people, like, look in the mirror and ask yourself, like, why am I not achieving my big goal? What's the main reason? Get through the excuses, get through like it's the economy and I don't have the education, blah, 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 all this stuff. At the end of the day, it's gonna come back to something about you. And if you could change that thought process, then you can go off and achieve amazing things.
Whoa, that thought process. And that you said it's you. Like nobody cares about the recession. It's about the person looking in the mirror.
100%. No matter what, and listen, all that stuff is real. Like, you know, if I'm a white guy in Canada, I have a lot more, you know, I'm a head start against a lot of other people from a lot of different countries, a lot of different backgrounds. So I get that. But there's people, whatever reason you think is holding you back, there's people who look exactly like you, who had way fewer resources than you currently have, who shut up and did amazing things. It's because they didn't accept the limitation of their story. And so as soon as you can shift that and start hanging around those people, even virtually, people who you look up to and respect, hang around them, understand their story and how they got started. And you'll see tons of hard work. You'll see tons of belief in themselves. You'll see tons of just persistence and nailing it and getting through and getting through. And the more you bring that into your ecosystem, instead of you complaining and making excuses for why you can't go off and do something else, as soon as you accept responsibility for your life and stop putting it on somebody else, that's when the shift starts to happen.
Got you. Well, look, everybody listening, go out and believe in yourself, because that's the best thing that you could ever do. And if you haven't already, go watch Evan Carmichael's Top 10 Rules for Success. You do 3 videos a day, right?
3 a day, dude. 3 a day.
3 a day. But how many are the top 10 rules for success a day?
Top 10s we do every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then on the weekend, we'll also do like a mashup. So like if there's a common rule that all of these guys have, we'll mash them up into one video on the weekend.
Okay, so go to that YouTube channel, go watch his archive of all the past ones, because you have every like famous person and unknown famous person, and it's just crazy. Like you can binge watch his stuff like people binge watch Netflix series, right?
I love it, but it's way more education. This is gonna change your life. Okay, stop escaping from the life you hate and go build a better one for yourself. And start with the Nipsey Hussle one.
Nipsey Hussle. I think everybody listening knows that I love Nipsey Hussle. He's going to be on a podcast one day soon too.
I love it.
Definitely. So everybody listening, I just want to say thank you for listening, your attention. And Evan, thank you for your time as well. I'm not going to hold you up. I know we're all busy, but I thank you so much for tuning in and giving everybody on this podcast a perspective from yourself, your life, and what you've done. And I really hope everybody listening just goes and gets it, because we only have one life and we're not getting any younger. So with that being said, if you don't have anything left, Evan, that's going to be the episode, and we're going to talk to you guys on the next show.
I just, you're thanking me, and I appreciate that. I want to thank you too, dude. I love your energy. I love the questions. I love the vibe. Like I do a lot of these interviews, and this is right up there. And thank you for the constant effort to try to help entrepreneurs, because it's badly needed.
Absolutely. I appreciate it so much, and I'm not stopping at all.
Love it.
I'm just getting started.
All right, let's stop that out. That was good, man.